Go live. You're live. Okay. Like I was saying, though, I had the spider in my dream, and my dad would always get mad at me for having the spider up there in the window. Like, I would open the window, it would never come down on me, it would never try to do anything, it would just stay. I guess it only wanted to be in my window because my window was warm at night and it was winter, so I thought it was a thing of where, okay, it just wants to stay warm. I will be fine. It never has tried to attack me. So one time I had a dream. It felt so surreal because I was just sitting there in the dream, and I was on my bed. I had woken up in the dream, and I was like sitting on my bed. I had shorts on and a tank top, and my hand was near the edge of the bed. Let me remind you, I had a nightlight at the time, so it kind of had a homey feel, which is what it was. And this brown spider that was about as big as my hand came up on my hand, started crawling up my arm, and it looked at me, and then it jumped on my face, and then I woke up like gasping, and I was scared. I looked up in the window, and I tell you, I almost peed myself. 'Cause guess who was gone? Coco was gone. Ever since that day, I have never had another spider in my window, not due to me taking it out, due to just a spider never being there again. Which makes me think, was it a dream? Because wouldn't I have woken up if that had happened? Which just makes it really, really weird. About the house dream, by the way, you know how I said, I'm gonna repeat the story to them? Okay? I had a dream about a house one time that was really white. I remember this dream so well because it was very eerie. I was in the dream, and I would always be at the foyer of this house. I would go in this house, and I would go up carpeted stairs. It was a very, very spirally staircase, might I add. So you had to take your time getting up it, and you would remember because it had such sharp turns. And within those sharp turns, just like really spirally, and you'd go up, and then you'd come to this hallway. It was very dark at the end, like pitch black, and there were a lot of doors. I remember I had been in this house before because, yeah, like, by the way, this isn't a dream. It has some dreams linked to it, but it is not a dream, it is a memory. And I was in this house, and I would go up the stairs, and I would be in this hallway. It was very carpeted, and everything was white, might I add. And the floors below, all the houses below, not houses, all the rooms below would have nothing in them. Everything was painted white. The chimney on the outside of the house was painted white, even though it was bricked. The fireplace on the inside, even though it was brick and everything, it too was painted white. And there were vases that were white on top of the fireplace, and there were flowers in it that were completely white, which was really scary. And I remember going into a room filled with a lot of boxes, white boxes, might I add. They were filled with hats, with shoes, everything white. And I remember in the dream, not dream, memory, the only colors in there were my skin, my hair, and I'm assuming my eyes and everything on me was colored. Except for my clothes. Those were white. And I remember at a time I was scared for some reason. I was scared happy. And I climbed up the boxes and everything. And I got in a dumbwaiter. And as I was getting in a dumbwaiter, I remember seeing a gray face. It was a mix of like the rake, but also some really muscled dude. And I'd see the face, and then I'd hurry up and shut the door to the dumbwaiter, and I would stay in there being scared but happy, like I was playing hide and seek. And I was like playing hide and seek or something, and I don't really understand it because I just can't get it. And then I'd wake up. This happened periodically, and some dreams that I would have about this memory would be where I was on the outside of the house and I was just in there. I was also in the house, but I was on the outside of the house. It was like I had split into two people, and there was a me on the inside doing what I knew was going to happen in the memory, and there was me on the outside where it looked like the house was breaking down or disappearing or getting smaller, anything like that. Sometimes I would be in the house and I'd be in the same room. I'd find a box, and then in it would be the only color pink. It would be a pink hat, something along the lines, pink. And what was the other thing I said about the pink hat? Oh, sometimes there would be dirt in the dream. Like there would be dirt rain. It'd be like a regular rain, like very like smooth shower, but it would be dirt instead. And it wouldn't fill up the room. It'd just be like a steady dirt rain. And another was where I was going in the dumbwaiter and I was actually scared this time, and I would pull myself up by a rope in the dumbwaiter, and I'd be going through dirt in the dumbwaiter, and then I'd be up above it, and all I would see is dirt, then grass, and then I'd wake up. I never got the chance to see if there were trees around, if there was a sky, if this was, I just don't know. What was the other one that I was thinking about just now? Oh yeah, the theories that I have for the memory. So, my cousin, I know him and he's very good. I've had a couple of things like told to me from him cuz there's a few people that I could ask about the house, which would be my grandfather, but only a few months ago he passed away. So I can't really ask him. So I went to my cousin because me and him always traveled around with his aunt and uncle. And at one point, I do remember that we went to a White House, and I don't know if that's anything. But I would ask him about a White House or something, and he said, "Yo, I'd always like have that same memory." And I'd ask him, "Well, what exactly happened with you?" He said, "Well, it's like I'd enter the house, and then there was someone right beside me, but I'd enter the house, and they'd never allow me to go upstairs or anything." He said there was always, like, somebody there, but I don't know who it was. It felt like somebody I knew, though, but they were allowed upstairs. So, like, that got me thinking. I don't really think on it a lot, but, like, me and her were, like, listening to spooky stories, and, I just it made, like, I remembered my own. And, within that spooky story, like, it's just so weird. I don't get it. But I'd always have like the same dream about the same house. It would always have the same height and everything. It seemed like I was really, really young as well, which I don't get. But like I was talking to her about, it seemed because as a little kid, sometimes I would stop breathing in my sleep, and I remember at one point my pulse did stop for like a split second. I think like a split second, yeah. And it stopped for a split second, and I'd think like sometimes if I'd stop breathing, like what if at the time that was my purgatory? Like, I don't get a lot of religious things and I don't really get into it a lot, but what if I had at that point died and went to like some sort of purgatory for like a little bit? Because you know how dreams, like, they last a long time and everything goes quickly. Well, what if, because like it's a really quick dream. And, I don't know how to go about this. It's just so weird to me, like now saying it out loud, because I've never really told anyone. Because I didn't want people to like just look at me and say, "Wow, there's the weirdo who thinks she went to purgatory." Um, at the time, you got to think purgatory is something that you have to go through. I guess I don't really look into it a lot, but at my definition, it would probably be stuff that you're afraid of that you have to get through. And at the time, since it seemed like I was really young in the dream, I would have to be afraid of big things. Because I remember I was afraid of staircases because at one point I had fallen off of a staircase and fallen flat on my face. And I'm telling you, around that time when I was little, Through the age of 1 and 10, I was always about 2 to 2.5 feet, maybe 3. I was very small. Even now at, like, how young I am, I'm still only 5 something, and I'm actually this is, like, a whole new record for me throughout my life, so yeah. And, it's just a really weird story that I keep thinking on, and at the time, the only thing that I would be afraid of is staircases, which I had to go up, and I did without a doubt. I was afraid of dark hallways because I never knew what was at the end of dark hallways. I didn't like tiny rooms, which would explain the boxes in the room, making it really, really tiny. And I never liked to climb up stuff with the feeling of something's behind me and like they're coming after me, which would always get with the dumbwaiter as well. Because if I had to go to a small space and like knowing that I was trapped there and that I could never get out unless something went away, that too was a fear. I don't really know anything about the dream. I may like post it to Reddit, like be one of those random people who post it to Reddit. Like maybe somebody else has had it. Like who knows? Maybe it means something. Maybe like it's a part of some like religion or whatever, and I need to watch out for something. Maybe it's a sign. I don't know. But like like the theory of purgatory, like where I would like go in and out. Like sometimes people had to wake me up, and it would be like really scary, because like people didn't like waking me up. I was a brat when I was little. And most of the time I'd be yelling at somebody and they'd get angry at me and regular family stuff. But most of the time my dad would wake me up and like I'd vaguely remember it. So, yeah. One of the other dreams that I had, this was an actual dream. I told you the spider one and I told you of like the house one, which was probably a memory, probably a dream. I don't know which one. The other one was the cannibal dream. Now, let me just tell you, and I want you to not think anything like none of my dreams have ever been about racism. They have never been about division. Nothing. Okay, so this is why this dream freaked me out. There was this really big guy, and he looked like Penguin from, those comics, superhero comics. He was supervillain Penguin, and he had all the clothes on and everything. He had 5 girls in a bag that were skinned, and they were alive still, and they were gingers. He threw them out in sand, and these demon, skinny looking people came out and started ripping them apart. The reason why that mainly gets to me and why I can remember that first part so well is because I heard the sounds and everything. It was clear as day. And let me tell you, when you've never heard anything like that in your entire life, and you hear that in a dream, it makes you question, what is this? And in that dream, after that happened, it changed to a guy and a girl running through an alley. I want to remind you, this girl was also a ginger. They were running through an alley and they came to a fence. This guy went through the fence, and then the girl stayed on the other side. As soon as he turned around, it was her being burned at a stake. And that was weird. Then it transferred to me on a bed, like a very purple bed, and it looked like a hotel room. I want to tell you the plot, like the basic scenery of everything. It all in all, it looked like a very apocalyptic world. It was charred, it was ashy, it had browns in it. It looked dead or like it was dying. And it was horrible. And I was on that bed, and there was this guy who looked like a cross between Jeff the Killer and Interlocks. And he was saying very creepy things to me. He had his hand on my cheek, and he had this really wild look in his eyes. I can remember him so well. He had a very pointy chin, and he looked really weird. And one of the things he said, I think it was, "You're so pretty. You're always going to stay with me. You will always be mine, right?" The last thing that I said was, "Yes." And then I woke up. I mean, if I had like a comedic thing of like boy bye like at the end of that dream, then yeah, that would have been like funny. I guess it would have taken the edge off, I mean. But it did not. So What was another scary dream that I had? Because I was thinking of another. Oh, the shark dream. I had this dream. I don't know. It's very dimensional, at least. There were these. You know how pools have like the white edges around them and everything. It was like I was in a giant pool that was in the Arctic, and it had all these. It's hard to explain without you seeing what I saw in my dream. Like, hold up, let me try and sketch it out really, really quick. Um. Okay, so here's a sketch pad. Now, where's my pencil? No. This will do. Let me try and sketch it because I have like a pretty clear view of like everything that kind of went on ish, maybe. You know how like the pools that you have at your house have like these lines on them? Like the squares in the blue tarp? Yeah, that's what the squares in this one are when I show you. You'll be able to know what lines are important, I believe. It also, I want to tell you the feeling of it. It felt like it was one of those wipeout courses. And it had a lot of my classmates in it at the time, and I was very young when I had this dream. It had a lot of my classmates in it. And each time you'd go in the water, one of my classmates would die. They would die, and it would be like I was one of the ones left. It was very, very weird, and I didn't like it. I need to go to my other YouTube. Well, not other YouTube. I need to open a new tab in YouTube so I can actually see what I'm doing. Sorry, I was about to burp, but at the same time, it held back. Oof. But this is like what it was. But this is like. Hold up, my thing is buffering. Hold up, my thing is buffering. But this. My thing is buffering. But this. My thing is buffering. I love how when it does that, it's just such a butt. Okay. I need to turn the volume all the way down. Okay. So this is what it looked like. I'm surprised I actually got the image like it was, like when I had it. But that's what it looked like. And that was my exact size. Like, I don't know if you see the person in there. You see them? That was the exact size of everything. And, let me put this back up. So, within that, there was like this giant shark that would go around, and I remember swimming. And, after a lot of people had died, they put me in, and, the shark was going after me, and I was swimming, and I didn't get caught, but I remember it was jumping through all these things. It was like very geometrical or whatever. I don't know if that even is a word. But it was just really scary, and I didn't know what was happening. All I knew was that when I woke up, I was glad that I wasn't eaten by a shark. Oh, my neck. Everything popping. Let's see some other scary dreams that I've had. Let me think for a moment. I'm gonna do bullet points. Okay, I told you about the cannibal dream. White House dream or slash memory. What was the other spider one? Shark one just now. What was the other one I told you about? Did I tell you about one? Okay. I have had some other pretty weird dreams. I need to think of them though. Mm-hmm. Butter knife. Like that's gonna do some cool, like good or anything. Oh God. Ah. Oh! I remember one that really freaked me out. Okay, please, I'm not a murderer. I swear to God, I am not a murderer. If I would ever hurt anybody, I would cry. Okay, I'm a very sensitive person when it comes to that. I had a dream where I don't know why I did it. I had killed most of my friends. I could hear their screams, and they were like, no, Charlotte, no, and everything like that. It was old friends by now, like people who recently have, said, oh, well, I'm not your friend anymore, anything like that. But I had killed most of them, except for one. I will call her, I'll call her Cass, because that's her nickname that I called her. I remember that we were in a truck stop bathroom, and I like had a knife and everything, and I had cornered her. For some reason, this truck stop bathroom had a bathtub, and I remember taking a knife and lunging at her, and I landed in front of the mirror. As I stabbed down her arm, she fell back in the bathtub, and she was bleeding out. And for some reason, I had the feeling to turn to my right. And when I turned to my right, it was like a mix of me as Jeff the Killer. And I didn't know what to think. Like, it had everything on my face, but I didn't have a nose. And I didn't have his cut in smile, at least. That's not something that really terrified me. I didn't have any eyelids, and I didn't have a nose. So it looked really weird, and I just like stood there staring at myself, and it was so unsettling. Like, especially with the voices of the people I heard, like, no, Charlotte, no, and like the screaming. Very, very weird and very scary. I also had this one dream where I was in what I would call a creepypasta world. Because here's the thing, I do have my own like creepypasta realm or whatever. Because that's how I think of it. It would be like the mansion in the middle of a clearing, and it would be like it'd be like one of those Harry Potter tins, basically. And yeah. So I had a creepypasta realm, and there would always be this time where I would go to like the ravine. Because here's the ravine. The ravine, it separated from the actual creepypastas. Then there was a middle ground where it's like, I don't get it. It's just very deep, and it may have had like weird creatures at the bottom that you never saw the light of day and probably never will. Or maybe did see the light of day and now hide down there. And in that dream, I would always be there at the ravine. It would be like one of those things on Journey to the Center of the Earth. Sometimes it had magnetized rocks in the middle, and sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it just had a bridge, and the bridge was very unstable because the pikes that were in the ground, at the back and the front, those pikes were they were very unstable. They could fall out at any time, but at the same time, I would always go on the bridge, and I would always go, and like I was saying about the separation, there's the creepypastas who are there. For some reason, they seem good, compared to the other side. The other side houses the real monsters, as you'd think, I guess. The ones that could be real, possibly. And over there would be the pit. The pit is also a form of Zalgo's realm, or Zalgo, I don't know. So it'd be Slender's realm, the unknown ravine to where you could die or you could possibly not die. And then there would be Zalgo's realm. It was terrifying. It seemed like nothing should live there. And sometimes when I would go over there, it would feel more of where I belonged, or like I was the only thing that was alive there. And within those little moments, it'd be fine because I never got attacked when having those dreams. So it was never really anything that really stood out to me. The only real thing that might have stood out to me was where at the ravine, there would be this stone staircase going down. Sometimes I would go down it and sometimes I wouldn't. One time I went down it and found a dragon, and sometimes I would go down it and I found crystals. And I found a dragon one time, and I found crystals one time. The crystals led the way, and they led the way to this giant crystal room. It's really weird. And one time I had another dream where I was in the same crystal room, except it was eating people. The crystals would grow out of the ground and they would grow on people and they would keep them there. And I remember there was a person singing, and as the person was singing, the crystals would go away. It was like, oh, hey, you're singing me a lullaby. I can go to sleep. I don't need to eat now. Really weird. There's a lot of dreams that terrify me, Jesus. I have all these horrible dreams. That's real weird. Oh, yay. Perfect. I'm just burping. Oh, well. I did drink soda. Kind of my fault. Let it out. Let it out. Oof. Yeah, let that voice go. Oh, I can tell you the past of one of my characters if you want me to. Oh well, people are gonna see Kirill sometime around anymore. That was not a grammatically correct sentence. Kirill is one of my little fishy ladies. She's very, very beautiful. I love her so much. Let me actually go find my sketchbook that belongs to me, and I'm gonna show you what she looks like with her newfound husband and her kids, I guess. And then I will show you her future kid. And my legs hurt because I've been sitting on my butt all day. Ow. Huh. So that's where that went. That is not something people particularly want to hear from anybody. Why do I always do this? Carol is my fishy lady, and I love her so much. Why do I love her so much? Well, she's a fish, obviously. The only reason I love a character. Oh, it's a fish. Oh, I guess that's a good enough reason. If Bella draws a fish, no, I will not love it. Because if Bella draws a fish like mine, it would mean that she's trying to copy me again. Because more often than not, if she were to draw a fish like mine, she would try to draw the fish exactly like mine. No differences, no nothing. I have re-entered my domain with spoils of my trip. The chocolate that is darker than the night. And an orange. Anyway, now to tell about Curel's story. Curel with K. Kit and Cat, yeah. Okay. Cat is the pink one, Kit is the green one, and K is the blue one. Curel is my girly girl, and she is the fishy one. I'm about to show people. Thank you. Death Heart. Okay. No, it's just like I'm tired and everything, you know, like I can't really move around a lot. It's not because I'm like just really lazy, it's just my heart and everything. It's through the family. But I've come back with the chocolate of darkness. Orange. I like grab it out of the sky. Oh, you're hungry now. Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't spell hungry right. Oh no, my grammar Nazi ways are coming into this. No, my grammar Nazi ways are horrible, especially to such a young little kid. I'm sorry. Look, it looks so pretty. It looks like a flower. Yes. Brushing my hair with a flower. Oof. It's okay. I can't spell. Well, you're not supposed to be able to spell like I am. I'm grades ahead of you, so yeah. I really shouldn't let that just like come out a lot. I'm not sure if the K ship is coming in anymore because I mean the K roll ship is coming in anymore because me and that friend had a very bad breakup, you know. But you know, we're still friends and everything because you know we worked it out. But like I don't know if it's like still there because we haven't really talked about it in a while, and I don't really want to talk about it because it just brings back memories of when it happened. I don't really go at stuff head on anymore, so you know, I'm not that type of person. But as I was saying about Curel's backstory is it's a very devastating one, at least, somewhat, at least. It just goes to show who she is, though. So yeah. Curel's backstory would start with like when she was a child. She was a guardian. Hold on, let me look these up on my phone because I know exactly where I have them in my phone. Curel is an Aqueen. Now Aqueens, they don't have a specific trait of them, so I guess they wouldn't be a close species. However, the guardian Aqueens are mine. They are specific. There are specific ways that you have to have an Aqueen as well, I guess. I still need to add her gills because she has gills on her neck, and right here in this one, she has like a little tarp around her neck, like as clothing. But she also has gills on her near her rib area, like three on each side, and even at the back, I think towards the lower parts of her back, she has like two gills on each side. It is very weird. I also have to update the ears because there's certain ears that they have, like they have fins, but they also have certain things. Yeah. Okay. So the lowest to highest rankings of these protectors, you might say, because there's a lot of them. There is protector, guardian, in which that is what Kirill is, the overseer, the peacekeeper, the overstress, the overlord, the goddess, and god. The highest is only reserved for one, and it's already taken. He and his son, they go back and forth. However, the father is going to die soon. So he's letting his son take over more because his son needs to learn. He knows he's going to die and he doesn't care because he's served for almost an eternity. I do have one who is God. The only reason that she is God, you'll see when you see her. What? Yeah, because she's a murderer. Blatantly. I don't need to know about your sim and their sex. Yeah. Oh, and Farishi, which is going to be her daughter. This is Farishi. The bottom is her ancestral form, which is right here. This is her ancestral form, which she shows quite a lot of. And then the top is her basic, somewhat adult form. I think that's when she's probably 19, maybe 20. She's very active, within a lot of things. And you cannot see because of that light. You still cannot see because of that light. I need to turn you towards her. I will always love you. I'm trying. This is not wanting to work. Oh, wait. Yeah, there it is. Wait, no, I gotta get it closer to my face. I need to try this. Whoop, that's schoolwork. But yeah, this is her. She's very chubby and I like her. favorite baby girl. Okay, back to where you were. But I think Fershie will be one of the only ones who gets to, you know, go with the goddess and everything. She might be a goddess, maybe overstressed, or she can outright, you know, say no to it all. And yeah. I think I need to hang up because somebody else wants to call me. I have not called them in a long time. You can always stay in the live stream though. So I'm gonna like hang up and then call them. Bye-bye. I'll call you back after them. Missed call. Call. Hi. Look at the live stream. This isn't me doing this. It's not my fault, okay? It's not my fault. It went off. It went off. It's not my fault. Oof. I feel so bad. I'm sorry. My phone does not like me for some reason. That's that. If it's gonna be like that, let it be like that. Oh wow, my voice is ugly. I need a knife. I believe I have one around here that's mine. Hold on, let me go find it. Oh, yeah, found it. I'm not thick. I refuse to believe. So that's what I used this for a long time ago. Dangerous. I believe my ex-boyfriend knows. Maybe that's why he didn't like me. I never went to attack him though. So you know. Because I loved him. However, now I'll trip him anytime I get, you know, in the hallway. It's not bullying if nobody sees. I am so petty. I thought you were talking about my ex-boyfriend, David. Well, technically, yeah. I didn't hurt myself. I just kind of got to me. This is sharper than I last remember. Maybe it's because I sharpened it last time. Such a smart cookie. Pop goes the weasel. P? What do you have to pee? I'm the P to the E to the T. I'm the P, E to the T, T, Y. P, E to the T, T, Y. Yeah, I'm petty. Petty. Yeah, I'm petty. I don't even know the song. Ooh. Oh, stripping. Come tripping. All my ladies get information. I'm sorry, honey. I can't be there right now. You have to live it up without the thick white woman. I know it's hard to hear that, but you have to. If somebody like joined the live stream right then, right there, they would have thought I was actually crying. Oof. Only time I ever cry in front of people is like if I like at least in a live stream. That's I'd have to be pretty messed up, basically. The only time I ever cry in front of people is actually when I trust them. All know what I'm thinking. Wait, is it proper meme culture to spell thick with 2 C's? Or is it just like because there's thick and then there's thick. There's the thick as in, oh, and the wall was pretty thick here. Like thick, and then there's thick as in, oh boy, she's thick. How about you guys ask me questions? By the way, this is a family-friendly YouTube channel, just so you know. PM be thick. Ooh. Thick in the skull because she got turned into a vampire. I love one of my stupid female characters. She's just so good. Oh God. From what fandom? I have a lot of fandoms and there's a lot of ships. FNAF. Foxy and Chica. I have a feeling that Chica's very bubbly, but the underlying story of her is that she's never really Not never really that she got she was never loved or something, and she just was really happy, and she was one of those stupid kids who was always hanging on to positivity. And like, yeah, Foxy's the same, but like it's been said that Foxy may have somewhat of a memory and that he can remember stuff. And to help him get back his old kid self, he goes with Chica and stays with her because she can't remember. She's always bubbly, she's always happy. So that could bring back his kid side, and like it's really good. That's probably one of the only main ships. If I had to pick another, it would probably be Mangle and Foxy, but that's very distant with me. Very distant. Any other fandoms? I have one from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. You can also ask me my favorite characters. Let's see. Within Ed, Ed, and Eddie, I ship Keved and Reverse Keved. I don't know. At some points of the regular Keved, it can be really sweet, and then the reverse Keved, it just you see Double D in a new light, and you realize how the world could have been completely different. It's really one of those things that you can wrap your mind around, and you're like, oh, this is a really fun thing to think about. Mm, Transformers, Optimus Prime, and what's his name? Megatron. They seem like enemies, but at the same time, if they would just set aside their differences. Yeah. You mean same? Is this technically violence on a YouTube video? Demonetized? Yeah. I make so many of those jokes because a lot of my favorite YouTubers make those jokes. I'm such a sellout. Only one orange was harmed within this video. She thick AF. When you try to sound hot, but then you just fail. No more, ma. Mama hates you. No more. Mama hates you. I like Optimus Prime X and Megatron. Same! I'm gonna draw my baby boy. Wow, my burps like keep on coming like I need to, but then they're like, "Go away, I'm gonna go away." Oh, there it is. If anyone can guess who my baby boy is, I will love you forever. I bet so many are about to guess it, like, ooh, I know who your baby boy is. You know what sucks? I am so in love with Artisan that I want her to be here. Honestly, more often than not, she's one of the people that's on my mind so much. I just don't get it because, like, she's with somebody, and I feel so horrible with that. And she just loves them so much, and I don't want them to break up. But I don't think it's one of those things that I can just let go. It's gonna be there, and it's probably always gonna be there. Started streaming 1 hour ago. Oh Jesus, let me look at my count. Oh, it is. Dang, boy. Mama hates you. No more. Mama hates you. No more. Mama hates you. Mama hates you. I need ya to hurt me. I need ya to fight me. I need ya to destroy me. I'm ripping the insides of an orange out. I'm not sure if this goes against YouTube's guidelines. And I know that it hurts, you know that it hurts your pride. You're home. One more than yesterday. Not me. Can't get that over me. Not me. I love you, but I won't be a fool for you. That is just something that I wouldn't do, babe. Tell the truth. But you can't, no matter how many times I ask. You ain't gonna expect me, no, till I ain't there. Got you comfortable, now you ain't really scared. I'm listening to music now, press. Probably nobody's here anymore. You can buy that too. I can take care of myself and look for someone to do it too, babe. Look like you upgraded me, I upgraded you. Bye.